All right, moving on to Odell Beckham, the guy everyone can't stop talking about, right, Van? Exactly. Van had a polyp in his throat. We should explain that, right? And it was removed, and now your throat hurts. You feel okay, you can't really talk that much. So we're using sign language and actual signs. Let's talk about Odell Beckham Jr. How do you feel about Odell Beckham Jr., Van? Oh, he's excited about it. Cleveland Browns. He's rubbing everybody the wrong way, though, because he made a lot of comments about the New York Giants. Said that he thought that he was the main draw, the reason that the Giants got primetime game. He looks good for the Browns right now. The reason that the reason Giants got primetime games, he said he kept the brand alive last year. Remember, Eli Manning fired back, and he said, "Hey, man, I won a couple games before you got here.
Right.
Don't forget that."
A Super Bowl. Yeah. Something Odell knows nothing about.
Well, now Tiki Barber, another New York Giants great. Tiki Barber was the face of the franchise for a long time. He was the running back in New York from, I think, 1996 or 97 to like 2006. A long time, and he was a big star.
Yeah, I was going to say, before and even while Eli Manning was in town, Tiki Barber was the biggest star, along with Michael Strahan, on the New York Giants.
So we asked him, how do you feel about Odell Beckham claiming that he kept the franchise alive, that he was the star, he was the reason people watched Giants games in 2018? Here's what he said.
Odell Beckham made some pretty disparaging comments towards the Giants.
They're real. It's what he's feeling.
Do you think he has a leg to stand on with what he said?
I think he's an emotional individual. We've always known that.
Yeah.
Frustration is probably coming out, but as he said yesterday, I believe, he needs to move on. The Giants have moved on. He will as well.
You had another guy there, Saquon. I mean, I think he was the guy personally getting the ratings, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, last year it certainly was that.
Yeah.
I mean, Odell was hurt a lot last year.
Yeah.
And Saquon was Rookie of the Year. He's a spectacular player. If you were watching the Giants last year, it was because you wanted to see what Saquon was going to do. That was Odell. It certainly was. But let's face it, I mean, it was probably time to move on.
Yeah, probably time to move on. Also said, which I think was an interesting point, that Odell wasn't the reason people were watching the Giants last year. They were watching the Giants for Saquon Barkley. And
like Odell Beckham played 16 games over the last 2 years. He didn't play.
Go LSU, because he's supporting Odell Beckham, Babcock. That's what that's about.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Babcock. This is your...
like, the more I've thought about this, Odell Beckham didn't even play the last 2 years. He played 16 games. He was always hurt. It's so ridiculous.
He played 12 games last season, though, and in those 12 games, he was spectacular.
And 4 in the prior year.
But last year, he played 12 games, and he was really good.
How? Under what metric? Because the team was terrible.
He had 1,000 yards in the first 12 games alone.
And I'm sure Odell views this as a wonderful season because all he cares about is himself. And they had a few primetime games. Shout out to Odell for that. That'll definitely make it into the right column of his Wikipedia, that they had a lot of primetime games. They didn't win anything. They sucked last year.
Van says this is blunt racism.
Really? They sucked. The Giants also, let's point out, were one of the first 5 NFL teams, 1925. The Giants have been relevant for a long time, relevant before Odell Beckham, relevant after Odell Beckham.
How about this, Babcock? Today, we've learned that Sterling Shepard and Corey Coleman, the 2 top wide receivers for the Giants, are hurt, and now they're holding like a casting call for a replacement wide receiver. But they wish they had Odell Beckham now, huh?
No, because they didn't win anything with him.
If you like what you just saw, videos, great stories, and crazy photos, we've got more like it every single night on TMZ Sports on FS1.